5 minutes? Final Fantasy Peasant breaking down a video in less than 40 minutes. Why, you never thought this day would come. But I'm going to give this a shot, guys, top of the morning, my fellow peasants, because I am chronic at creating 40-minute plus long content. And I know while some of you are still loving that format and I'll keep doing it, not everyone has that time commitment. So I'm going to try to break down and blow your guys' mind with a new detail that, while it did appear in my previous recent 2 Gnostic videos, it was kind of buried in, only as a visual representation. In this video, I'm going to describe it here. All the cosmogony and the box art of 16. Let's do it. I'm just going to set the timer. Let's go. Starting with the box art, I know many of us lore junkies have been looking at this and had a few speculations. Many of us started on Diablos, but that recently got debunked by Koji and Yoshi P. And then most of us moved to maybe Chaos. This is going to be another form of Chaos, a new kind of one. It's taken many forms in the Final Fantasy series over the years. But now, just for me, after going down the Gnostic tunnel, the Christian, the Catholicism, and significantly the Pistis Sophia, of which I think is predominantly appearing in Final Fantasy XVI, the main artwork used in the Pistis Sophia is this right here. And let's just compare these two. Look at the similarities. Though they aren't overlaid on the Pistis Sophia, what you have is a dark demonic figure with horns and wings. In Pistis Sophia, this represents Yaldabaoth, the arch demon, the false god that rules this world. But then what sits above him, Sophia, his mother, the goddess seeking redemption, instilled in Yaldabaoth's creation the divine spark. And to see these parallels, the white wings, the dark wings, Sophia depicted with the halo, they're similar to our icons in the Cosmogony artwork who also have halos, and see that sat within the body of the darker figure. This is very powerful but also telling imagery, because it represents and depicts a very powerful theme that's been used throughout many mythologies and religions over the years, and also in Final Fantasy XIV, which is the contrast and the polarity between darkness and light. In 14 we of course had it in the forms of Zodiac and Hydaelyn, which we could also kind of see the parallels between those two, Hydaelyn being the mother crystal and Zodiac being an agent of chaos looking to kick out and disrupt the current world status quo, even if that status quo does seem like it's a good one, a beneficial one based in the light. But Yoshi P and his team are very good at even calling out the light in their games.
Do I seem so desperate as to grovel at the feet of a false god?
Clive's here to end the Mother Crystal system, and in the theories, again links down below, I do believe that robed hooded guy in this game is representing a Yaldabaoth Samael merge, with Clive being a Satanael Sabaoth type of figure in the game, closely related and connected to both the Mother Crystal and also the robed hooded guy. He kind of sits at the precipice of these two themes, because though he is a demon and though Clive has hatred and revenge and more insidious motives fueling him, he also has a lot of benevolence and humanities. That's what is the link between these forms of light and dark, chaos and order, is that Clive is essentially a figure who more or less is going to reconcile the old classic yin and yang. Another version of the yin-yang system in Gnosticism is the serpent eating its own tail. This is called the Ouroboros. Ouroboros? Ouroboros. It's an ancient symbol depicting a serpent or a dragon eating its own tail, and it's basically a symbol for the eternal cyclical nature of the world, the cycle of life, death, rebirth, which with the main figures on our 16 logo being Ifrit of fire and destruction and Phoenix, the fire of rebirth, we definitely have that theme present, and it's seen as a core symbol for the transmigration of souls, for lifting humanity up to its more divine nature and rebirthing itself into a better system, typically one that does have free will, and that's why the Ouroboros is also a symbol for fertility. Now I just want to take this symbol and overlay it on top of the 16 map, because of course we have crystals which are the points of the drake's head, serpent, tail, breath, fang, but taking the core body in terms of where they're positioned. The crystalline dominion, which is the tail, and Sambrique, which is the head. Notice the proximity of the two of them, and if we overlap the Ouroboros on top of it, notice how the proximity is similar enough to be able to represent the serpent eating its own tail, the yin-yang system. This video here, I covered exactly and exclusively that. The 5-minute videos will make me trip over my words. How much time do I have? Gotta get a hustle on. Where if we now flip over to the Cosmogony artwork that is depicted in the artwork behind Sambrique, the throne, this theme of the dragon and the serpent, Yaldabaoth and Sophia, becomes even more significant when you take into account, again, Yaldabaoth breathed life into the world, just like you see this dragon here, seeming to put this mist down on all of these other figures, with this goddess figure behind holding up the sword, symbol of power and divinity. Sophia instilled secretly to sabotage him the divine spark, and that's what allows us to go against this false god. Now, when I was breaking all of this down, I only happened to go on Google Images and see this image here. I'm just going to quickly scroll through it. This is the formation of the world in the Gnostic thinking, and skipping past this very icky section at the bottom. The two suns, creation of Yaldabaoth without her masculine part, the tree, the fall of man, which we have in Final Fantasy XVI, the theme of. The foundation crumbling, just like Valisthea crumbling to the blight. The begetter, the self-protected mind, the great Sophia, the serpent for Adam and Eve. Also right here what you see, the form of a dragon. The form of a dragon. Now, Yaldabaoth in the Gnostic stories typically has the head of a lion and the body of a serpent, but he does also go in the form of a dragon. In fact, his other names, which we have covered in the longer videos, are the Demiurge, Seclus, the Son of Chaos, Shadow of God, Fool, the Blind God, Samael, the Devourer, like the Ouroboros, the Senseless God, the God of the Hebrews, the two other names, the Dragon or the Mother Dragon. Very curious. So when I saw this, my tinfoil hat started cooking up the idea that Yaldabaoth, road-hooded guy, the primordial evil in this game, the chaos thing on the box art, is something dark, something from Void Chaos, which Sophia did bring into the world. It's called the Konoma, and it basically blighted this prison world and is what brings suffering into existence. And when I saw in the Bible, the Gnostic version of it, that this is also confirmed, when Mary spoke to Jesus, she asked him, in what type is the outer darkness? Or rather, how many regions of chastisement are there in it? To which Jesus said to Mary, the outer darkness is a great dragon whose tail is in his mouth, outside the whole world and surrounding the world. Like it's the overlay of the Final Fantasy XVI map, and there are many regions of chastisement. There are 12 mighty chastisement dungeons, and a rule in every dungeon, and the face of the ruler is different one from another. 12 and 7 are so significant in the Bible. Just like Sophia created 7 archons, we have 7 icons, we have 7 nations. Just like Final Fantasy XVI seems to also be reflecting a lot of the tribes of Israel's story, of which Yaldabaoth was the core enemy of them. They battled over immortality, like Sam Breek attacks Joshua, the Phoenix, the powers of immortality. Joshua was one of the members of the tribes of Israel. 12 is very significant. But to see Jesus talking about 12 freaking dungeons makes me wonder if we're going to have 12 in Final Fantasy XVI. That would blow my nips. But anyway, there was associated dragon with the darkness. But again, darkness and light, they are one and the same. They are polarities of one another. Different in contrast, but same in degree. And Yoshi P and his team really get this, and this is why when Mary continues said, my lord, doth the dragon of the outer darkness come into this world, or doth he not come? To which Jesus said, when the light of the sun is outside, he covereth the darkness of the dragon. But if the sun is below the world, the darkness of the dragon abideth as veiling of the sun, and the breath of the darkness come into the world in the form of smoke. In the night, that is, if the sun withdraws into himself his rays, then indeed the world is not able to endure the darkness of the dragon in its true form, otherwise would it be dissolved and go to ruin withal. So this dragon both represents the darkness, but also the sun and the light itself. And going deeper into that, the other appearance. In the Pistis Sophia, in the subsection of the Light Maidens, there are, can you guess it, 7 beings of light under Sophia. And though Sophia herself, after Jesus sacrificed herself to bring her back to the light, she is also herself a goddess of light. These 7 beings are distinguished from Sophia as herself and appear as the archetypes. They rule over the 7 realms and the 7 hewn out pillars, just like we may have 7 crystals in Final Fantasy XVI, and she holds the highest station above them all at the top, in which she is the judge of the departed souls, either opening or closing against them the portals of the light realm. And under her, the 7 other light beings have a similar function, divine in nature, who impart to pious souls their final consecrations. And from the place of the Parthenos Lucis that encompasses all of this and all of the power that these light beings use, comes the Sun Dragon, which is daily borne along by the 4 light powers in the shape of white horses, and so make his circuit around Earth. And that right there, I think, guys, is what the Cosmogony of 16 is based upon. Stop the time. How did I do? Oh, snot. My phone died. Oh, you ran out of battery. I actually don't know, I just riffed that. I ain't gonna know until I go into post-editing, but there we go, guys. A tremendous amount of juice in there. Honestly, I'm itchy right now to elaborate and extrapolate upon, to go into even more detail with, but I think most of you have seen enough of 16 and you're intelligent enough to kind of see some of the connections that are weaving, especially when you take into account that the Mother Crystal's light in this game is necessary to survive. That Final Fantasy XVI is actually being described as being in an era of twilight. and that in Gnosticism there's a core theme of a dragon that brought darkness onto the world, and without the aid of the 7 beings of light, then the world is going to be dissolved into darkness and go to ruin with all. Very thematically tight. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Comment, like and subscribe if that format did anything for you, and yeah, if this was interesting to you, again, links down below to much longer, more detailed, better explained deep dives of these kind of themes and ideas that are, I believe, are pointing into 16. But thanks so much for watching guys. I'll see you on the next video. Go!